Okay, cool. Good evening, everyone. This is Shanmugavel Shankaran, founder Fixnix Incorporation. We are the world's first software as a service governance, risk and compliance software platform for mid markets. So our mission is to simplify regulations. We are in business for past 7.5 years. We are helping hundreds of customers in this mission. So what is today our topic is about IT governance. So we are going to talk about what are the different standards available in IT governance, and then let's kind of understand what are the different things available. So maybe I have some few slides decks to try to kind of help you understand. Maybe later I'll also go a little give some generic examples. So for an organization, if they are a very small, humble organization, if they use any quality management system, that's their very basic governance system on the quality governance, right? So when it comes to IT governance, so you think about whatever different standards or frameworks which we are using to help the organization improve themselves to the next level. So it can be leadership frameworks, organizational structures, process systems, where it can help the organization to sustain to and extend their strategy and the objective to the next level, right? That's what it is about. And it should enable the organization to achieve its goal. And the encouragement to achieve the desirable behavior in the use of IT is a major aspect of IT governance. So there are a good amount of frameworks in the IT governance space. Let's take a look at those one after another. So, for example, there are different aspects like corporate governance, information and communications technology governance, and enterprise governance of IT. So, and IT governance itself. There are different aspects of it. So, let's look at what are the different domains of IT governance. Frameworks for governance for enterprise IT, and strategic management, benefits realization, risk optimization, resource optimization. These are the some kind of high level sections of it. So let me give some real example, right? If there is an organization which is like 200 people, so how they are going to set up their whole IT governance system? So first they should have a common alignment. What is the framework they are going to follow? That should define their organization's strategic planning, goals and objectives, right? Okay, right now they are not using technology systems, so how they can use those technology systems to transform, and how they can kind of move some of their goals and objectives to transform their business. And then subsequently they also can have strategic management, where the strategic management is very helpful to kind of align some of these goals and objectives. Where what is the goal? See, for example, even if the 200 people organization is becoming 2000 people organization, the IT should be scaling enough. So whether they are using the right set of softwares to have the right support, kind of help desk systems, technology support systems, web hosting systems, email systems. So all of those different investments should be analyzed and strategically designed. Okay, this is how they are going to plan for the growth. And then benefits realization, there should be a value of kind of return every product, software, whatever the organization has bought or invested should be analyzed. So so that whether it's aligned with the business benefits, and maybe in case if they need to repurpose some of the investments, they should be doing that. So, and also risk optimization. So in case of once after the organization understand the benefits, return of investment coming out of all the investments they have made. So if they have bought a email software systems, how much is the value they are getting? They should go towards a cloud-based email system to get more value out of it, because they are just 200 people organization. They don't need a server for that. So likewise, they can do a lot of exercises. When it comes to risk optimization, it is mainly about organization understanding that risk of that. See, for example, they are hosting their own email system server, so they suddenly have a lot of other risk to also to cover, right? So in case of they want to optimize those risks, they should be planning for kind of moving towards streamlining things towards for example, how they will cover in case if the primary servers are going down. So those are the things they should be planning. And resource optimization, when it comes to resource optimization, how organizations can really plan for things in an efficient manner, and can really in case if they are already spending more, so where it can be optimized. So they have a large server which can host even 1,000 people email server systems, which is not necessary. So they can cut down the cost and move towards a cloud based email system, which can help them optimize some of the cost. These are the things they should be planning as part of any IT governance kind of a strategic planning. So when it comes to IT governance frameworks, there are frameworks like ITIL, COBIT, ISO 27002. So ITIL is nothing but IT infrastructure library. So it was one of the standard championed by Europe, particularly UK government. So they have put together a library of best practices for IT service management. So even it's strongly aligned with ISO 20000 standard. So and people, in case if they want to get themselves certified, they can very well get themselves certified by ISO 20000 once after they claim that they have all this ITIL implemented, right? So COBIT, so control subjectives for information and related technology is called COBIT. COBIT is a very strong control framework which helps organizations to put together the regulatory compliance, risk management, and aligning IT strategy with the organizational goals. This is one of the internationally recognized framework, not just Europe, but it's very well recognized in the North American context as well. ISO 27002, again, it's one of the standard championed by Europe Union and primarily Europe, but still it's recognized by all parts of the world, like North America, Asia, every part of the world. So it's a global best practice for standard for information security management in organizations. These are the three different things which helps organization to put things towards kind of a very vendor neutral third party frameworks. It's not just towards some particular product or things. These are just frameworks. Many products, even our own fresh GRC platform of Fixnix, helps organizations implement all these three different standards and regulations and frameworks, which will come very handy. For example, many of our products like compliance, audit, risk, assert, incident, business continuity, disaster recovery, strongly directly aligns with many of the things whatever recommended by many of these frameworks, through which we can streamline things. So let's look at the IT governance implementation and life cycle. So first we need to understand first what are the drivers, and then initiate the program for IT governance. First, clearly establish the desire to change to all across the organization. First, recognize there is a need to act. So if the organization believes that they are very matured, etc., they don't need to do it. But as all organization, even the Fortune 100, standard is S&P 10 or S&P 50 or S&P 100, everybody has huge scope for improvement. Everybody is always looking at how they can transform their business, right? Be it even Boeing, when they have the 737 Max issue, they are always looking at how they can improvise even their internal communication management system, employee communication management system. By paying more attention to it, they could have avoided multiple billions of dollars of loss, which has happened in the recent past, because people have not paid attention to that particular 737 Max issue. So it took them to a very different orthogonal direction. So once after identifying the drivers and the initiating programs, we need to figure out where are we now. First, identify what is the maturity level, define problems and opportunities. So this is where we need to form the implementation team. That should be one internal champion team which should be formed with the participation from multiple stakeholders. So, and also assess the current state. So the third stage is where do we want to be? So identify where we want to head with respect to the whole IT governance, and then define the roadmap to get there. So the end of the day, whether we want to get ourselves certified towards ITIL, COBIT, ISO 27002, so what exactly we want to organize. So that's what is the entire program management about. So then the change management is about what we want to kind of achieve as an outcome, communication outcome, right? So and the inner circle is about continuous improvement. So there is already something happening what we are trying to improvise. So the fourth stage is about what need to be done to accomplish there. So now we have identified where are we now, where we want to go. Now we need to figure out what need to be done, right? So things like first we need to plan for the program, identify the role players, build the improvement systems, So these are the steps we need to be carrying out. And the fifth stage is how do we get there? So first, then this is where whatever program we have planned, execute the plan. So and start operating and using. So you kind of we have put a risk management system. So in the previous stages, you plan for the risk management system. You kind of identify different role players. So this stage is where we are clearly deciding that okay, we are going to execute this risk management system and start operating and using, right? Implement the improvements. And sixth stage is about did we get there? So where we are kind of talking about realizing benefits and also enabling new approaches. So for example, kind of doing a self-assessment, right? So whether we did reach there, or are there still scope for improvement. The seventh stage is how do we keep the momentum going? So now you kind of have some even third party come and do review the effectiveness and continue sustain in case if you have reached. So continue monitor and evaluate. So these are the 7 stage of IT governance implementation and life cycle for any given organization. So the importance of IT governance is primarily towards it can help organizations comply towards multiple regulations, and kind of helps organizations to have a competitive advantages, and also support of enterprise goals, growth and innovation, increase in tangible assets, and reduction of risk. These are the 6 topmost advantages with respect to implementing or setting up of any IT governance standards and frameworks. So I think I want to keep things open and talk a little more about COBIT and a few other things. So for example, here, let's understand COBIT. See, COBIT, in fact, the COBIT standards are really evolving. So let's take a look at how COBIT is evolved, right? So here, COBIT is mainly aligned towards this first management strategy, enterprise architecture, how innovation is managed, management of portfolio, managing budget and cost, human resources, managing risk, managing quality, managing suppliers, managing service agreements, managing relationships, managing cyber security. So all of this comes under the aligned plan and organize stage. And then with respect to build, acquire, and implement, so this is where we kind of get to this manage programs and projects, right? And the requirements definition, and then solution identification and building, availability and capacity, and organizational change enablement, managing changes, and then change acceptance and transitioning, managing assets, managing configuration, managing knowledge. So these are the things which comes under the subsequent stage, right? Finally, deliver service and support. So this is where managing operations, service requests and incidents, managing problems, managing business continuity, managing security services, managing business process controls, all of these things comes. And alongside this align, plan, organize, build, acquire and implement, deliver service and support, there is this monitor, evaluate and assets, right? Assess, where it's about a continuous cycle where first we need to identify what are the things we are going to monitor, evaluate and assess. Basically identify the performance of it and then conformance of it. So basically what do we mean by conformance? If there are some set of controls, for example ISO 27001 has 114 controls under 11 domains. So whether we are compliant and conforming etc, we need to identify and then continue measure. And then subsequently we need to get to a kind of monitor, evaluate and assess the system of internal control, right? Whatever I referred. And then finally complaints with the external requirements. In case if we are complying towards any bunch of external standards, that's where these things comes. So let's take a look at even some standards like ISO 27001, right? So that we will kind of have some more clarity. See, these are the different domains with respect to ISO 27001. So where it's about first identifying the kind of structured method of identifying the IT risk. So let's take a look at that, even the domains, right? Domains and controls.
Yeah, Shan, I have a query.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like there is a ISO 27001 and ISO 27002.
Yeah,
ISO 27001 they are 114 controls, and
yeah,
ISO 27002 they are 35 controls.
yeah.
So what is the basic difference between these two? Like
So
in terms of control, if we try to understand what is that?
super. ISO 27001 is the certifiable standard, okay, where we can go take even a certification. Okay, ISO 27002 is kind of not necessarily a certifiable standard, but it helps organizations align their things. I'll come to it. It's a very good question. So let's take a look at what are the controls, right? See, these are the controls with respect to ISO 27001. For example, okay. So previously it was 133. Now after 2013 they have changed to 114 controls, right? Under 14 different domains. So it's been almost now 7 years in system, right? Yep. So information security policy has two controls. Organization of information security has 7 controls. HR security has 6 controls. Asset management has 10. Access control 14. Cryptography 2, physical and environmental security 15, operation security 14, communication security 7, and systems acquisition and development and maintenance. How are we building things in the organization? How are we building applications? How are we building different things? So whether we have put right set of processes. A supplier relationship is nothing but vendor risk management. How are we managing ensuring that all the vendors who we are working are good? What are the process systems we are putting? Information security incident management. So there are 7 controls, right? And on top of which we have got information security aspects of business continuity management, which is 4. Compliance 8. Totally putting together, we have got 114. So kind of these are the bunch of new controls which got added. So in the 2013 version, which is primarily the project management angle, software installation, and software development, secure development policy, secure system engineering principles. These are the bunch of changes which has happened in the 2013 version of it. So you asked about a good question about 27002, right? What is the difference between 27002? 27001 is a certifiable standard. 27002 is about primarily helping the organization to kind of set up the things and kind of make sure that the organization has a code of practice, right? So let's try to understand. So 27012 will talk about usually all these different aspects of like okay, scope, terms and definitions, and then they will talk about risk assessment and treatment, security policy. 27002 is nothing but the way organizations are implementing 27001. So in fact, there is a terminology called ISO 27000 family. So 27000 family is nothing but is a information security family. So of standards. So 27001 is a certifiable standard for setting up of an information security management system. 2 is nothing but how they can implement that. So it is giving the process procedure systems for how the organization can implement that. So here they are going to talk about policy, asset management, HR security. Whatever we see in 27001, they will see everything here in 27002. But here we will see very precisely how organizations can implement those controls is what we will see. Primarily like okay, these are the ways we can help the organization grow with respect to incident management, business continuity, acquisition, development, maintenance. So where are we and how are we moving is what is usually gets assessed. So whether the controls are non-existent, the initial, repeatable, defined, managed, optimized, these are the things which get assessed all the time in ISO 27002. So in fact, let's take a look at even ISO 27000 family, right? So see, these are the set of family of system. 27001 is nothing but about requirements. 27001 is 27000 itself is talking about fundamentals and vocabulary. 27002 is about code of practice. That means how to implement. And kind of 3 is about implementation guidance. And kind of 4 is about metrics and measurements. 5 is about risk management. 6 is about how we can get ISMS accreditation. That means I want to become a information ISO 27001 certifying body. So what are the steps I should be following? And then 27007 is about ISMS auditing. So in case if I am a accredited body, how I should be auditing the organizations on ISO 27001. So these are the kind of 7 different kind of family of things. But there are more, in fact, actually, which has evolved over the course of time. So I think we may not have a greater clarity version, but I think let's try to take a look. I think 27009 is also there. So it's kind of it has evolved over the course of time. So people are kind of ISO as a standard body, which is always improvising and kind of getting ahead. So there are a good bunch of standards which are available. For example, let's take a look here. So for example, 27001 10 is also there for the future. So there are a good bunch of other systems what they have got in place, which also helps organization improvise things, right? For example, 27034 is nothing but application security. 27033 is about network security. 27007, I think already we have seen audit guidance. So kind of there are things like network security, application security. ISO as a standard body has evolved, defined all these things very, very well. So we should be just kind of I think ISO 27000 security, they are also talking about it, right? So which is also a good resource through whom we can refer. Okay, so I think they have a very robust thing. 13 is about how it can provide guidance for joint implementation of ISO 27001 and ISO 20000. ISO 20000 is nothing but IT service management. I think start of this presentation we mentioned about ITIL. So ISO 20000 is the standard which is helping organization to get certified on ITIL. So 27013 provides organizations guidance on how somebody can implement both ISO 27001 and 20000. In case if somebody is following 27002, they will just implement ISO 27001. In case if they follow ISO 27013, they will take care of both IT service management as well as IT information security management. And 16 is about economics of information security management. 17 is about security controls for cloud computing. 18 is about personally identifiable information, which is about primarily about privacy, right? 2019 is about information security for process control in energy industry. And 2021 is about primarily about information security management professionals. What are the skills they need, etc. stuff. 2022 is about ISMS processes. 23 is about what are the differences. So there is a new version which has came between 2013, right? 2013. And 2030 is about Internet of Things. 31 is about ICT resilience, which is nothing but business continuity. So if you look at it, is a very exhaustive field. It's a very large family. For example, even ISO as a body has thought through about intrusion detection system and prevention system. They have defined the standards for that. And the e-forensics, they have defined the standard for it. And I think the 27045 is the latest one, which is talking about security and privacy of big data. And even for privacy, there is a very robust standard which they have evolved. So kind of it's ISO 31000 is primarily about the business continuity aspect. So where 31000 is kind of 27554 is helping organization towards graduate towards 31000. So it is a kind of a 27000 is a very large family. They have close to 58 standards now in 27000 family, which is a very exhaustive set of things. So so if we are looking at privacy guidance for smart cities, it's 27570. So it's a very specific, precise thing through which we can do. And for example, if you are looking at organization's privacy aspect, so which is primarily on 27557. So kind of if you are looking at just a privacy engineering of information communication management systems, which is 27,550. So it's a very exhaustive set of families which people can go through by going to ISO 27001security.com. And I think without much ado, I'll stop here. In case if there are any questions, I'll take it from here. Otherwise, I'll try to see you guys with another new topic. Maybe next our next section can be
Yeah, Shan,
ISO
there's a question.
27000 family itself. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like what is the difference between IT audit and ISMS audit?
IT audit basically they do based on ISO 27000 and ISMS audit they do based on ISO 27001. So IT audit in ISO 20,000, if you look at, you kind of can very well automate the different aspects. For example, like let me kind of tell you what is ISO 20,000.
Okay, and another thing like difference.
See, in ISO 20,000, so basically organizations will look at a very specific aspects. For example, they will be looking at whether the organization have put together service delivery aspect, resolution, relationship, control. They will look at primarily whether the organization has got the help desk kind of a system. Whether if somebody is coming for kind of a service management or service delivery, whether they have the right kind of systems. All the help desk products help organizations to implement ISO 20,000. So where we are, the GRC governance system compliance systems come from the ISO 20,000 world, which both of them have some relationships. For example, here they also talk about service continuity, incident management. So there are some relationships, supplier management. So there are some strong relationship between ISO 20,000 and ISO 27,000. So that's where it is connected.
Hello, Shan. This is Ashish.
Yeah, another question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Shubham.
Yeah, another question is like, what is the difference? Yeah, Ashish, you can go ahead.
Okay. Shan, what are the essential characteristics that you want to enhance in current IT governance systems? If we see the survey conducted by EY, which stated around 73% C-suite responded with that they were not ready for the call during this pandemic situation. How would you like to change or enhance the current IT governance system?
Oh, great question. So, for example, here when we looked at the ISO 27001 standard, or see, we look at even ISO 27,000 itself, or 20,000 itself as a standard. So these are the multiple things they should implement, right? If an organization has clearly planned for what is their business continuity plan, how they should be kind of setting up things, so they will be prepared. So how they will manage the continuity aspect of their organization, what are the business controls which they should be trying to cover, what are the important assets which they should be kind of trying to recover in case of any pandemic like this, so which they should understand, be it ISO 20,000 or be it ISO 27,000. Everything is talking about this whole thing, that right processes, right governance systems.
Thank you, Shan.
Go ahead, Shubham.
Yeah, my question is like, what is the difference between ISO 27,000 series and ISO 31,000?
So ISO 30,000 series is primarily, I think there are a lot of this business continuity aspect. So primarily, I don't know many of the ISO 30,000 series, but I know ISO 31,000, there is a framework which talks primarily about risk management thing. So we can kind of try to deep dive on that maybe in one another webinar. ISO 27001 talks about primarily about information security. Information security risk management is one component, but 31,000 is primarily going very deep about risk management system. Okay, guys, I think today it was a very fruitful interaction. Hope you guys also found it useful.
Okay, thanks, Shan.
If there are no more questions, I will try to pass here, and then I'll look forward to meet you guys with another webinar.
Thank you, Shan.
Thank you, guys. Bye.